think then, to be honest, from the off, we need to address the white elephant in the room, or should I say the white Russian elephant in the room, because all this week, all I've had is questions from people who I know who listen to Chasing 40, and also various messages through our social media accounts, asking me the same thing. What the heck is going on with you and your dodgy computer systems? Right, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to check out last week's episode, episode 6, which was called Spuggy from Biker Grove. If you listen towards the end of that, you'll hear Bec profess her undying love for the mighty Russian leader Vladimir Putin. The reason we got onto this was because we've been tracking where people are listening to Chasing 40, and we noticed that we've got a couple of people that are listening in Russia. We've got a couple of people that are listening in the Ukraine. And, you know, when we discussed this on the show, I just thought that'd be nice. We give them a shout-out. Bec then felt compelled to tell us all about her undying love for this Russian tyrant. So, as I say, Bec, all week I've had people asking me about this one, lots of questions. One message that just simply said, Bec is dodgier than Trump.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Leaving the codes to friends, was another one. Because this is what you said, if you die, this again, another thing we discussed was Bec's impending death and her funeral and what would happen if she were to drop. She said she's got this system on the go where her friends have all the passwords to her social media and files that they need to delete.
Yeah.
And then once they've done that, they shut everything down. People want to know, what are you hiding? You did reveal that you did have pictures of Vladimir Putin, and I think you've got some more to show me, haven't you, today?
Do you know what? So, yeah.
What else is on there?
I can't tell you, can I? Because you never know who's listening.
Are there Russian nudes, Bec? That was another one that we had that come through. That's what that'd be a surefire hit. I need to scratch the name of this week's episode. The Russians are coming, and change it to Russian nudes.
Russian nudes.
Yeah, I think we'll do that. I think we can sort that one out. Where's the other one here? Bec, did you ever want to sleep with Gorbachev? But you referenced that it was because I was trying to get this out of you. Why Putin? And you were talking about the pictures of him being all manly on his horse and with his fish. What you're going to show me in a minute. And you said the nuclear codes. He's got his finger on that button.
The power thing.
Gorbachev had the power, and he had a lovely little attractive thing on his head, which looked like pigeon poo.
I think at the time I was possibly a little bit too young to understand how exciting the power was.
So if we uncover some pictures from the height of the Cold War of Gorbachev running around in his little white fronts,
oh God,
doing various tasks around the house with a little pinny on. Maybe. I don't know. You're older now. Like a fine wine, with age it gets better.
Who knows?
Have you got anything else on there that you're going to show us all?
Yeah. So I've been poorly this week. And I've kept it very quiet, obviously. And I've spent quite a bit of time kind of looking at pictures of Putin. So I mentioned the one about the fish and you hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
So there he is with a giant pike.
Oh, my God.
He's such a man. But, there's another one of him. Look, that's him playing judo.
Playing judo.
But playing judo. What you done playing judo?
This is, by the way, the picture she just showed me is Putin throwing some man to the floor. I'm just thinking, did that guy ever stand a chance in that judo match? He's basically told, look, just get battered. Vlad, this is Vlad's orders.
But then there's a softer side to him. Look, there he is in a suit playing a piano.
Oh, it's Elton John. Oh no, it's Vladimir Putin.
And then look, he's feeding baby elks.
Oh, what a man.
Oh, Vlad, see?
Even I'm getting a bit of a soft spot for him now.
There you go. Me and Vlad.
But the Russians are coming because as a result of last week's show, and this is what I'm putting it down to, if you listen to us, by the way, there's many places where you can listen to us around the world. You can listen on iTunes, you can listen on SoundCloud, YouTube. There are 3 main providers. I've since discovered, though, as we moved on, there are several websites streaming this illegally, which I'm in the process of trying to get a grip of and stop them from doing it. But if you're listening, for example, now on YouTube, what you may have encountered before Chasing 40 started is some adverts, and you'll notice as well on your screen there may be some bits and bobs, some advertising, and again, great thing because it helps us do this for free, helps us cover the production costs. So if you do see them adverts, wink wink, check out our partners. But someone said to me through the week, Jeff, have you seen the latest adverts, some of the adverts that are on Chasing 40? He said, no, you really want to check it out because I clicked on an episode this morning and this happened, and he sent me a video, and I'll just play a little clip for you. Okay. This is a genuine advert which played. It could have played before you listened if you listen right now on YouTube. This is a genuine advert that endorses Chasing 40.
Верхняя часть, она не поменялась, а нижняя полностью поменялась. Немножко стали фонари, которые в бампере стоят, они чуть-чуть другие, они поуже стали.
Bec, we've got a Russian car manufacturer now advertising with us.
It's a powerful country. Don't diss it.
Они теперь уже фальш-трубы в бампере сделаны. И покрашен бампер тоже как передний под полированный алюминий.
I say a Russian car manufacturer. I think it's Russian because by looking at the video, and by the way, we'll get a clip of this and we'll put it on, which we now have an official Twitter feed, and a little easier one for you, which is at Chasen_40. We'll put the video of it on there a little bit later on, so you can check that out. But I assume he's standing in front of a car, so...
В салоне у нас очень большое изменение претерпела эта мультимедиа-система.
Right, well, moving on from that, we've got a packed show for you today. We're going to be closing the show with a good friend of ours who we've spoken to on many, many occasions, Mr. John McCurrick, talking about the two things that have affected him most in life, women and horse racing. Thing is with John, and I've said this a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, he's got this reputation of being a big sexist pig, but he's a real softie at heart. He's a lovely guy. I remember many, many years ago, in fact, many, many years ago, it was about 10 years ago now, when we were in a position at a radio station that I was working at over in Liverpool where we were going to give him a fee for coming on live that morning. He was going to play a couple of games and he was going to take part in loads of stuff on the show. And I asked him how much he wanted. He gave me a figure. And I said, right, okay, well, how do you want us to pay this? Do you want us to go through your agent? Do you want us to give it to you? Because he was actually coming in. We were doing the show live from Entry Racecourse. And he said, no, what I want you to do with it is give it to. And he split it between two charities. It was the Injured Jockeys Fund, and it was a kids' charity as well. And every sort of other involvement I've had where there has been money involved with McCurrick, he's always diverted that cash.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, he wouldn't want us to talk about it on air. No. But you know, he wants to keep to this macho sexist pig gimmick that he's got. But he's a lovely guy, and we're going to be hearing more from him to close out this week's episode of Chasing 40. You know, John McCurrick as well, every year I speak to him, he gives me a Grand National tip, and for the first, I'd say 5 or 6 years, I put everything I had on there. Yeah. I'd go, right, he's an expert. And then in the end, because he just kept losing, I thought, I can't be bothered anymore. I remember the 1 year I didn't do it. Blummin' won, didn't it? Didn't even tell anyone.
You know perfectly well I can't tip a winner. I'm a failed bookmaker, failed punter, failed journalist. So you've got 38 runners. Rule out my tips, Comply or Die, or McKelvey. Rule those two out. You've got 38 other runners to pick the winner from.
You know what? In the many, many years that I've been speaking to you, John, I think it's come to about 7 years now, every single tip that you've given me has failed. So this year, I'm going to ignore them too. Like
That's an absolute outrage. That is a slur, and the legal team will be hearing from the learned friends.
I'm not messing. Every tip, and I pass it on and go, John McCrirrick says this, and they all come back to me angry.
This is a disgraceful calumny. There may be a bit of truth in it, but we don't want to hear that.
But John is coming up a little bit later on as well as that, because of course this is the most wonderful time of the year for me. We're going to be hearing from Hulk Hogan. It's WrestleMania weekend, Bec.
Hurrah! I don't know how I've slept this week in excitement.
Well, I won't be sleeping at all this weekend because obviously the podcast launches on a Sunday. So if you're listening right now on a Sunday afternoon, be safe in the knowledge that I will not sleep now till round about Monday. In fact, it'll be Monday night because I've got that much to do on Monday that when WrestleMania finishes at 5 in the morning, I'm just going to have to get going and get on with things.
Have you still got your belts?
Yeah. That's for another show, though. That's for another show.
Wow. Keep
it on the theme of 80s heroes. Hulk Hogan, of course, being one of them. I got an invite to something spectacular this week, Bec.
Did you?
Well, you know, I'm quite partial to the odd bit of Hasselhoff.
Very partial to a bit of the Hoff.
And I don't actually know if this is going to be profitable for him or if there would be demand for this. Because, of course, you know, everyone loves a bit of retro. But let's be honest about it. It's the year 2017. David Hasselhoff these days, he's more famous probably for just being in panto and knocking around with that Welsh beard, isn't he? But he's doing... This was the invite anyway. An opportunity for me to join David Hasselhoff on a cruise. So I'm like, what? A cruise? So straight away I was thinking, a cruising kit? Wow. And then I thought, you know, if this happens, I'll be able to avenge that moment many, many years ago when I met David Hasselhoff and I made an idiot of myself before the interview by saying, get in there, Hoff. And he grabbed my fist. And I thought this could be a one-on-one moment, me with Hasselhoff in kit. He wants to get together. He wants us to go out and fight crime. But no, it's actually a proper cruise in a ship all around the world. Welcome to my unique and exclusive world fan cruise, said the email. Thanks to my fans around the world, I can look back on an exceptional career in show business, and there's much more to come. It's a high time to give back the gratitude and fun that you bring me every day. So I, David Hasselhoff, cordially invite you to this unique fan event with GEO Resin, David Hasselhoff, the official worldwide fan cruise.
That's amazing!
I'm looking forward to a cruise across the Mediterranean Sea on the Costa Falosa, along with my fans from Europe, the Americas, Africa and Australia. I'll be on board throughout the journey, and I cannot wait to spend an unforgettable day with you. So I was like, what? This is a joke.
Get to go on a cruise with a Hoff.
How's he going to manage that? But like the ship, if you look at it, is absolutely massive. It's like a proper cruise ship.
It's probably his.
He's going to have to, like, he'll probably start, if the cruise starts on a Monday and ends on a Friday, he's going to still be walking around meeting everyone. Because you get thousands on them cruise ships. So I thought, well, you know what? That seems quite decent. That I haven't been on a cruise ship, so I wouldn't mind that. And then I looked at the prices for it. I guess how much the Hoff wants.
So it's a week on a boat with a Hoff.
Yeah.
700 quid?
It is, right, for two people with an inside cabin, 2 persons, 799.
I think that's all right. Is that all inclusive? Is that your beer and your food?
I don't know actually if it is, but you think that's all right? Let's be honest about it. I mean, I love David Hasselhoff.
For 2 people, though.
But you're just on a ship, a German ship.
With the Hoff?
Yeah, well, you're not alone with them, are you? I suppose if you were, then that'd be value for money. Goes up to 999, so the dearest one is €999.
Well, you know.
So there you go. If you fancy it, I think I might have to give it a miss at that price. But I wasn't expecting that one bit at all this week. Do you know what? It's really hard today to actually concentrate on this podcast as well, Bec, because your glasses keep steaming up.
I know, don't.
I thought it was some sort of special effect when I come into the room this morning.
No.
You've not been well, have you?
No, do you know what? I think my mum's poisoned me. I went back home last week to surprise her for Mother's Day, and I don't know what kind of bug I've picked up there, but yeah, I can't regulate my temperature. It's the most disgusting thing ever, but I keep getting that hot, my flushes. My glasses steam up. Well,
I said to her through the week, I was like, Bec, well, what's wrong with you? She went, I don't know, but I've lost about 10 gallons of sweat. How erotic. Thanks for telling me that.
Honestly, I really have.
But your glasses are steaming up. It's really off-putting.
I can't help it.
Take them off. I was going to say, if you put contact lenses in, though, they'll probably melt, won't they? And that'll make it even worse.
They will, honestly. But I'm dead cold, but then I'm dead hot.
Hey, well, whereas you've been ill this week, then you haven't been up to much, I've been quite active. I've taken on the I think your influence is rubbing off on me because I've been out twice this week.
Have you?
Dun, dun, dun. Tuesday night, I was at an event.
On school nights?
Yeah, which was quite cool. And I met the champion of the world. Not Hulk Hogan, which we're going to get to in a few moments' time, but Tony Bellew, I met him, and a couple of Everton players, an Everton event that I went to on Tuesday night, but that involved some free alcohol, so
good.
I felt a little bit tired, shall we say, on Wednesday morning, and then last night, right, wait for it, you're going to be, this is going to blow your socks off. In fact, this is going to make those glasses steam up even more. Not only did I have one glass of rosé, right, while I was sat there on my laptop, putting some bits together for the show, I had 2.
No.
2 glasses of rosé.
2 glasses of rosé. Who'd have thought?
Still woke up with an hangover though.
Did you?
I don't know what's going on with me.
You've
you know what?
Changed.
The older because I think as well, because I was lying there in bed this morning. It was like 3 a.m. and I knew my alarm was going off at 4:30 to go to the gym, and I'm thinking, I can't believe this. I've got a hangover, and then you know what? It hit me. I'm getting old now.
Yep.
I'm thinking, is this it now? I'm 36. I'm 26, and I'm getting hangovers of 2 glasses of wine. In 10 years' time, when I'm 36. What's it going to be like? And then 20 years' time when I'm 46. Oh no. I had a bit of a midlife crisis through the night. Although some may say that we're having a weekly midlife crisis by doing a show called Chasing 40. But yeah, it hit home to me. But anyway, very, very exciting. The reason I bring up that cold as well, now I'm going to reiterate this to you because I want it on record. If I catch that cold and I become ill and miss entry as a result of it, and even Wrestlemania, that's the end of our friendship. I can't afford. This is Christmas to me. This is very, very exciting.
It's not a cold.
One thing that it's something anyway.
I don't. Well, it depends what you look at on WebMD. I had everything yesterday.
You've not done that, have you?
Well, yeah, I didn't know what it was, and I haven't got a doctor, so I've got to self-medicate. And
yeah, isn't this mad? Bec's doctor struck her off the list for not going because she wasn't ill.
Yeah.
I
hadn't been for 5 years.
But I never go to my doctor, really. I think I've probably visited my doctor about 2 or 3 times over the past, I'd say, decade.
Yeah.
They've never struck me off.
Punished for being healthy.
But the last thing they want is you to turn up with the common cold and if there's something wrong with you. So I think that's mad. They've got rid of you.
So yeah, I diagnosed myself yesterday. I've got everything from chronic kidney failure, which actually I thought, well, that could be the amount I drink.
Yeah.
That could be viable.
Well, I agree with that one, to be honest.
Pretty much everything right through to gonorrhea, frankly.
You can't catch that from someone making you a cup of coffee, can you?
I don't think so, no.
Right.
You did go up the loo before, though, didn't you?
Ah. I knew I shouldn't have put that bacon sandwich down on the top. It's got me again. Oh, should we get to actually what do you want to do first? Do you want to hear from Hulk Hogan? Oh, actually, before we get to Hulk Hogan, I wanted to get, with it being Grand National, and the thing is, the Grand National, I know there's a lot of people listening all around the world, but as we discussed last week, it's a spectacle, a worldwide spectacle, so wherever you are, I'm sure you can pick it up on a TV channel, but if you listen over in the UK, you'll appreciate how big a deal it is. It's a Saturday afternoon when everyone has a bet. Your granny has a bet, your mum has a bet, they all have a bet. So this week I wanted to, as well as having Jammeh Couric, I thought we've got the celebrity guy there talking about the horse racing. Why don't we get the common man tipster, someone off the street who knows, the common punter who knows what they're talking about and can give us some advice. So what I wanted to do was get my young cousin. Now you've met my young cousin James.
I have.
Who's the best way to describe him is a lunatic. But one thing he's very, very passionate about is horse racing. He absolutely loves horse racing. He goes all around the country, travels all around to all the race courses. He'll be at entry every single day. He goes to Cheltenham. But what he does is he gets up in the morning, he studies the form, and he has everything prepared. He's like a mad professor. So I said to him, James, I want you to give us some tips. It'd be great to give the people who download Chasing 40 and listen every single week some inside knowledge in what is going to win the Grand National. So all I wanted them to do was say to me, this horse... and it's going to win.
Yeah.
This, or give you a bit of advice. I ran down a few horses with him, a few selections, and I wanted him to respond with yes, no, or maybe. Just let us know. Just give an indication if it had a chance. Our James being our James just couldn't do that. So we sat. It was a lovely sunny day last weekend, wasn't it? On Sunday, so we sat out in the garden. We had a cup of tea. And the first thing I said to him was, right, let's get recording now. And what became apparent after a couple of moments was that James just didn't understand the concept of a podcast. What do you want me to do? You want me to edit stuff out?
No, I'm not saying edit it out in particular. I'm just saying in the event that what I say now is actually impossible to happen this time next week because the horse in question can't possibly win because he can't run because he's been withdrawn, blah, blah, blah. Then you take it out.
You do understand the concept of a podcast though, don't you? As we speak, by the way, we're recording this, 2 weeks away from Aintree? Actually, a stone's throw away from Aintree Racecourse where the Grand National will be run.
And that, I'm not just
so it's impossible for me to go into the future at some point, so there may be someone listening to this and something could have happened between now and then, and there's nothing we can do, so you're just going to have to give it your best shot here, champ.
Oh, well, I suppose I will have to then, won't I?
Now bless him, he's grown up with his older cousin Jeff being on the radio, so he's used to he's come on and he's talked about stuff on my various shows over the years, but it's always been live and it's always been in the moment. But James just he hasn't got a mobile phone, doesn't have any smart things or internet. He lives, honestly, he's a very simple man of simple needs. So the idea of a podcast is a bit alien to him. So he thinks that whatever he was saying at that point, I can edit out or stop because it goes out live. And I'm going, James, no, it gets downloaded. So we then, I thought, okay, well, let's have another go at it. So I'd explained that. He knew what the deal was. So we said, let's get down to it and pick some horses. And then we got attacked by bees. So come on then, what's your big one? By the way, you do that one.
Before this bumblebee brutally attacks us and
well, that's a first. First time I've ever been on mic being attacked by a bee.
Well, either of us.
Here we go. We might actually be able to get...
Right, I think it's better that
Abort! Right, can we come back?
I just heard a buzz there, didn't I?
That never happens on Channel 4 racing. Well, this has got off to a good start,
racing.
Hasn't it?
All right, at the races, all racing UK.
So
Attacked by it. That bee sounded huge.
So at this point, I'm starting to think this is cursed. This isn't going to happen. So we're now. I thought this was going to take 5 minutes. Right, we're now about 40 minutes into this. He now understands what the concept of a podcast is. We've got rid of the bee, so we're not going to be attacked by any wild animals. So now, here we go. I just want James to give me a brief synopsis of what he looks for in a horse, and then give me a winner. Give me something that's going to win the Grand National.
First thing I check is the race card, right? Do I check for...
Colour?
No.
Name?
No. Right, I check to see...
Jockey?
Well, the jockey's important, yeah. The jockey's an important factor for number one. Number two... Now, this is an interesting one because sometimes horses are with a trainer for so long, and then it'll have a change of scenery. And sometimes that's, in the racing post certainly, that's a little superlative. run number one.
So basically, with regards to that,
and then is the horse being blinking for the first time? Is it getting the cheek pieces for the first time? Is it getting tongue strapped for the first time?
So you check all that.
So that's the first check that I do, and then I make a little note in the form. And then I disregard what all the tipsters are saying, right? I then consider what the ground is, and that's a very, very important thing. And then I look at the exact form, handicap mark.
Don't you envy the people who just pick a colour?
No,
and a number?
Because I
won
like
the Grand National last year for the second time in 3 years because I picked number 29.
Yeah, but you also picked 30 others.
Yes, that was Red Rum taking a piss in the background before you ask.
Was that in the toilet?
Oh, so anyway, I gave up in the end in giving us a little clip for this week's episode of Chasing 40. But what I did manage to do was record the whole thing all the way through and some extras. So what I've decided to do is, if you want to hear more from Crazy James, available, and this is only going to be on the YouTube channel. So if you listen to us on YouTube right now on channel 29, it'll be available on there. We're going to put that up through the week. So on the build up to the Grand National, you can hear him discuss in depth every single horse.
I'm going to listen to
and
that.
his philosophies. So if you listen on iTunes right now, or you listen on SoundCloud, you need to look in the description field and you'll see the link which will take you to channel 29, which is the one that carries our show on YouTube. Go on there through the week. We'll be posting it. It'll be called Chasing Aintree, a Grand National special. Okay, so a spin-off with the Lunatic. So yeah, check that out through the week. We're going to get to John McCurrick in a few moments' time. We'll take a break before we get to that. But of course, as I mentioned, it's Wrestlemania this weekend.
Really? I would never have known.
I don't know why everyone doesn't get into it and embrace it like I do.
Because it's 2017.
There's going to be 88,000 people there.
Yes,
It's going to be
and
watched
how many of them are
worldwide.
going to be close to 40?
I don't know. Well, I'll be there. I remember years ago, in fact, I remember the exact moment. It was in 1993. I remember my dad going to me, what are you doing? I said, I'm staying up to watch WrestleMania. He went, see how long that'll last. That was 1993. Now I'm sat there, family man, kid upstairs asleep, watching WrestleMania on my own.
In your belt.
Goes on forever though, it starts.
I don't even...
Because it's a special channel these days, there's a WWE network.
Really?
Yeah, I pay $9.99 a month for that.
You pay £10 a month to watch men in lycra beat each other up.
It's a 24-hour-a-day channel. And this, the WrestleMania thing, right, will start. This will be my Sunday evening, right? And I've even got me WrestleMania crisps. So,
what?
Yeah. I've got me crisps.
WrestleMania crisps?
I've got me Coca-Cola. I've got me chocolate. All me treats I have. So I'll sit down, 9 o'clock, they have the pre-show, right, where they have a little chat. Then 10 o'clock, they have the pre-show, where there's a couple of events and a couple of matches. That goes on for 2 hours. Then at 12 o'clock, the show starts, and then that finishes at 5 o'clock. So all in all there, you got 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of action.
And does that only happen once a year?
Once a year, yeah. WrestleMania.
So what do you watch? Why you pay £10 a week for one show a year?
There's events which happen every single month, and there's TV shows, and there's all sorts of various spin-offs. And on this network, it's an on-demand channel, so I can watch anything from all the years ago, from all various promotions.
That makes it so much better.
It's value for money.
Yeah, totally. Any Big Daddy on there? Giant haystacks?
Unfortunately, there isn't. I've ever told you about Sam I met Big Daddy.
No.
He was horrible to me.
Oh,
Shirley
Jeff.
was a bastard. No, I'm not messing.
Why?
Right, okay, and here we go.
I forgot his name was Shirley.
It was way back in the 1990s. I think it was about 1992 or something. Right. It was round about that time I just mentioned there, 92, 93. And it was a tour which was going on. It was Big Daddy. At this point, Big Daddy's on his way out. He wasn't the athlete he once was. He was 50 stone as opposed to 45 stone. Remember the British Bulldog, who's sadly no longer with us, Davey Boy Smith? He was the headline act on the tour. So they had all these British ones underneath, and Big Daddy was there. Now, at the time, I think he was just done in and he couldn't wrestle anymore, so he was just there to make an appearance and sign some autographs. And when it got to the interval, you could go around and get all the autographs. So I bought my T-shirt of the British Bulldog, bought some other bits and bobs. I even bought a signed photo of Big Daddy, which I've still got on the loft somewhere, which is probably worth at least 35p on eBay these days. So anyway, I thought to myself, well, I've got that photo. I might get him. I'm going to get all the wrestlers to sign the T-shirts. That'd be quite cool, cool memento. So I walk up to him and I go, "Hey, Daddy," and he's doing this easy. He's sat there, loving the adulation he's getting from the fans. And at the time, I mean, this is, I'm a child of the '80s, but I'm thinking, Jesus, Big Daddy. It's a bit like. Not the greatest ear, is it? But anyway, out of respect for him, I go to Daddy and I say, "Daddy." He's like, "Yes."
Is that what you had to call him, Daddy?
I think I did call him Daddy, yeah. It's a bit creepy, that really, isn't it, when you think about it? Yes. A fat man sat there in lycra I walked up to as a kid. I was only 12 at the time, saying, "Hey, Daddy." Hey, Daddy, can you sign this for me, Daddy? Yes, certainly, boy. Come and sit on my knee. That never happened. Don't want to be getting sued by the Crabtree family. But me walking up to him did, but I didn't sit on his knee. There was no purvey to that. Oh, this is getting worse. Look, let me just, before I get sued, Big Daddy is a nice man. Was a nice man.
What did he say to you?
Maybe you should have an off day at this moment. But I didn't sit on his knee.
You know when you keep digging and it makes something worse?
And basically, yeah, it was a great show and we all went home happy.
Excellent.
Even that sounds bad. Right, okay, so Big Daddy, I go to Big Daddy and I say, Big Daddy, will you sign my t-shirt? And he goes, certainly, boy. And he took the t-shirt, took one look at it, and he saw the British Bulldog was on it, and he went, threw it away.
No.
And just stared at me. I thought, Daddy, you bastard.
Daddy, you've hurt me.
I walked away. And you know what, Bec? That was the last time I saw him.
Until that court case a few years later.
And that never happened either. Oh my lord. That was at the Kirby Civic Centre, that was. Not the Hollywood Bowl. Yes, you heard it correct. The Kirby Civic Centre. Oh my god. All the big stars come to town back in the early 90s. Segs nicely into Hulk Hogan. I put a call into his agent. I said it'd be great to speak to the Hulkster. You know, everyone associate. You think of wrestling, you think of Hulk Hogan. He's had a bit of a scandal-ridden couple of years. Hulk Hogan, of course. I'm not going into that. Yeah, you don't know about this.
The world of wrestling isn't the last wrestling I know of. I watched giant haystacks eating pickled onions with my uncle when I was about 7.
This is going to probably disturb you then. Basically, Hulk Hogan there was a website called Gawker. Have you heard anything of this?
No.
Right, there was a website called Gawker, which is now shut down because Hulk Hogan was awarded 130 million settlement in a court case with Gawker. Because basically, Gawker got their hands on a sex tape, which ruined my childhood. It wasn't
Hulk Hogan's.
Yeah, it was Hulk Hogan with his, at the time, best mate's wife.
Oh.
Who he sort of borrowed. And yeah.
Wow.
So
you've seen Hulk Hogan's?
No, I saw the back of him as
you've seen his bum
as he was preparing
doing.
Oh my god.
I feel so much better.
I don't want to talk about this. But anyway, as soon as I saw the Hogan arse, that was him. That was my time to go, and I only saw it because I wasn't actively seeking it out. A mate of mine said, "Oh, look at this Hogan thing," because he knew I'd fall for it.
Yeah,
because I love Hulk Hogan, and I opened it up and I was like, "Oh no!"
Is it as hairy as his face?
It was. No, I don't.
I'm going to Google that this week. Add that to my history.
So anyway, during the course of the sex tape and the various things that went on, Hulk made some comments that he shouldn't really have made, and he was in a bad place at the time. Look at me, I'm defending him. He was in a bad place at the time, and he said some things that he shouldn't have said, and as a result, he was sacked.
Oh.
And he's been exiled since. So I thought it might be quite good and it'd be quite easy to get a hold of Hulk Hogan. So I put a call into his agent, and then lo and behold, I get a voicemail, and I'm thinking, here we go, and I could see that it was an American number.
Hey there, Jeff. This is Hulk Hogan. I'm phoning from the Blob Shop, Liverpool, brother. We're having our own little Wrestlemania party. I'm dropping pints of golden like my leg drops in the 80s. I'm a little bit tipsy, brother. I bought some Mac 3 blades. I bought some bacon from the guys. It's great. I'm phoning the Jason 40 podcast to say I'm available for any interviews you want to do, as I am the main man for Wrestlemania, which is this weekend. It's Saturday, I think, brother. Let me Google that. Let me get back to you. What you gonna do?
So,
was that Hulk fart at the end?
I don't know what he was doing. I don't remember that from the tape I watched. But at this point, I'm quite sceptical, thinking, is this really Hulk Hogan? And then I got another voicemail.
Hey, Jeff. It's Hulk Hogan again, brother. After some research, I found out WrestleMania's on Sunday night. Can we still do the interview, brother? Can you send me £2 for a pint of golden via QuickPay on your mobile phone? Can I watch WrestleMania in your house, Jeff? Tell me, brother. You won't even know I'm there. What you gonna do?
I didn't respond to that last one. I thought I'll just let it slide by. Maybe another time. Maybe when Hulk's back on track, we'll get him on the show. Talking to be on the show, we'll take a short break, and then we'll be back with the mighty John McCurrick talking all things Aintree.
it's time to welcome onto the show once again my favourite racing personality, the Don of the racing world. He's been on before, Mr. John McCrirrick.
No. What a build-up that was. But I tell you, the local totty here in Merseyside, they would outdo anything Lady Gaga could produce.
John, do you want to just describe, actually, what Ladies' Day's like?
Well, it's absolutely extraordinary because the Northwestern girls, and I'm not saying that because I'm up here, but they really flaunt what they've got. They've got the better bodies, these skin sort of insects down in the south and all their dieting and everything. The Northwestern girls, their bodies are quite extraordinary. I like meat on my women. I can't stand these flat-chested women and the thin legs and all these models and all that sort of thing. And they love it. They flaunt their bodies. They show themselves. I wouldn't, of course, say that they're easily available. No. I would not say
Forever
that.
PC, aren't you, John, when you come on this show?
But it is fantastic to watch. They go, it is their day, and they're going to show all those toffs down at Royal Ascot and all the knobs and all that thing. That's how women should dress.
Hey, you know what? You're right there, John, because that's the thing, Aintree, that's what it's all about fun. It's all about getting dressed up and having a good time.
It is.
There's nothing stuffy about us whatsoever, we're there for
absolutely
the
right.
fun.
Absolutely right. All inhibitions, if they ever have any, certainly are thrown out. Nobody cares. It's like they've been in the clubs at about 3 a.m. and they behave like that. Absolutely magnificent. And when you see them tottering around, hold on, my other phone's going, I'll turn it off.
John.
When you see them tottering around on their high heels and holding sort of half-empty bottles of champagne, it's wonderful, wonderful sights. And of course, one or two men actually come to Aintree just to ogle the girls, and they never even see a race.
Yeah, that's you, I think, actually, judging by the last couple of minutes. John, does the booby come this year with you?
No, the trouble is the boobie's old, her body's sagging, and you don't bother with her at all. No, I keep her well away, and I get up to my own business. The papers tomorrow will be full of it. It'll all be on the television as well. Absolutely fantastic. And I would like a job sort of peering down on them, because the cleavages, they are absolutely magnificent out there.
Oh, John, I do love it when you come on this show. Thankfully, it's only once a year, because I can imagine the complaints I've had you on every single week with stuff like that. But anyway, John, the Grand National takes place tomorrow. That is the big race. Last year, it was a shocker.
You can look after the race. You can always find out why they shouldn't be these prices. But that was a real shocker. You got Foynavan in 1967 was 100 to 1, Tipperary Tim in 1928. So it's very, very rare that people always think the great big outsiders. In fact, they rarely do. But that was one year that it did turn up.
You know what, John? Aileen actually picked that in her sweepstake as well last year.
Yeah, I had
Not another. Listen, dear, you're another after-time merchant. Nothing is worse. Oh, I had the winner. Oh, I
No, she actually did.
That's what you're doing. So many people like you, Aileen, that you say after the race, you're going to, yes, dear, well done. We all believe you had it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Also remember, one thing to prove this is all lies and nonsense. Everybody you ever read who talks about horse racing, their very first bet, every single one of them bet the winner. They started off by having 6p or 10p, whatever it was, on a big race winner. Every single one of them. Is how memory fades and how realism becomes sort of jaundiced by the passage of time. It's all nonsense.
Now, I know there'll be people saying to me, I thought you said he was a lovely, cuddly man at the start of the podcast. He is. It's just part of his act. But, there's John talking about his two favourite subjects, horse racing and how he likes to watch the women on the Friday at Ladies' Day. And it's lovely for him to mention his wife as well, the boobie, of course, long-suffering boobie. Did I ever tell you years ago when I rung him up about an interview and he was in mid-argument with the boobie?
No.
That was quite entertaining. When like you have it yourself where you'll be on the phone and someone will try and come in and start talking to you or interject and you're like, I'm on the phone. That was happening, but him and the boobie. And he's actually going, listen, boobie, I'm on the phone, boobie. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is it better if I call back another day, John? No. Boobie, downstairs. Anyway, that is it for this week. Remember to make sure if you're listening on iTunes, you can leave us a comment, you can leave us a 5-star review. That'd be fantastic. And remember to click subscribe as well, because then that way Apple does all the work for you. You don't have to go on and download the podcast. Apple will do it and they'll put it right into your podcast section every single week. So if you can click subscribe, that'd be fantastic. If you're on SoundCloud, you can do the same. You can subscribe. You can leave a like on there. You can put a comment. You can do whatever you want. And of course on YouTube, you can do the same thing there. You can subscribe, like, leave comments. And remember as well, talking of YouTube, as we discussed a little bit earlier on, check it out, Channel 29, later on this week. Actually, I say later on this week, you could be listening now and it's after the Grand National or a couple of days beforehand. That's the beauty of a podcast. If you check out Channel 29 on there, you will see a special which is James, my crazy cousin, running down the runners and riders of this year's Grand National. Even if it's after the event, just have a little listen to it. It's very interesting. It's 18 minutes of pure horses, shall we say. Recorded in a garden a couple of weeks before the Grand National. We'll be back next week, and we've got another guest we're going to be catching up with. When the going gets tough. Oh, I'm doing it again. I've seen it.
Oh, I thought you said you were never going to do it.
You know what? And we've run out of time for it. We may cover that next week on the show. But someone sent me audio of me because we were getting lots of comments earlier on in the first episodes of Chasing 40 with people saying, Jeff, why do you keep singing on the podcast? And I didn't do it last week.
No, well done.
But someone has sent me audio of me from about 10 years ago. Singing and rapping with a Status Quo tribute band, and this was, I can't even remember doing this radio show.
Rapping?
The band were called,
rapping with a Status Quo?
Yeah, in the army now, I'm performing right. They're doing it acoustic, and I'm rapping.
Okay.
I've got to get that audio for you and play it on next week's show. But we are going to be catching up with Billy Ocean. Billy Ocean's going on a UK tour, so if you want to hear about the career of Billy Ocean... What are you laughing at?
Is it on a cruise ship like the Hoff? Well,
he's on a fucking UK tour.
What, a proper one?
Yeah.
On a bike.
He won a bloody Grammy. Oh, well, you can tell Bec's interested in Billy Ocean, can't you? Shit all over the guest, eh? Lucky this is pre-recorded.
Sorry, Billy.
Yes, if you listen to Mr. Wango. That's what he calls himself, Mr. Wango or Wango on Twitter. I don't know. Ask him.
I will.
Next time I'll invite you. Anyway, we're going to catch up with Billy Ocean next week and hear me singing with Status Quo. That's something to look forward to, isn't it? Have a great week. See you next time.